Hi Sagittarius, welcome to August. This is Leo season, fellow fire sister sign, and it's cranking up the heat quite a bit. Astrologically speaking, there are very harmonious points with the sun in Leo. Mercury goes into Leo, Vesta goes into Leo, and they're all harmonizing of course with Mars, which is in Aries. So for you, being the missing fire sign, although we have the South Node in your sign, there is kind of a few harmonious pings going on between you and the universe, which is really positive. We like that. Leo season is of course for you all about adventure. It's all about freedom, it's all about breaking free, and even in your cards that I picked off screen, there is a real sense of wild horse energy, just wanting to buckle, just wanting to break free, go forth, explore, shoot your arrows and go after them. Because for a long time, I think a lot of you have felt somewhat restricted. One of the things though that's kind of coming up in your cards is a bit of anxiety with that full moon in Aquarius coming up on the 3rd. Now, Aquarius energy is of course harmonious for you. The only problem with this full moon really is that it is not so harmonious with the planet Uranus, which is very unpredictable, very forward thinking, very changeable, very unexpected. And it's in your 6th house. 6th house. Yes. 6th house. And that can make you feel a little bit like you're not being heard at work, you're not being heard in your day-to-day, your voice, your message isn't getting clear, because Aquarius is your 3rd house. So you feel like your message isn't getting out. But the 3rd house, 6th house, conflict, as it were, can oftentimes exacerbate our mental anguish at trying to make sense of what's going on in our brain with facts and figures and practicalities. One of the things that sort of came up for you in the notes is, overthinking things a lot and trying to make sense of so much information, but also getting very detail oriented to the point of creating problems. Now, the thing about this is, with so much harmonious energy about Mars and the sun, you're very creative, you're very influential to other people, and you're very magnetic. So a lot of the stuff that's going on around that full moon is likely in your head, if not with a sibling or a co-worker. There could be challenges there, but a lot of it is to do with, making sure that you're not over analyzing something that's actually quite simple. Because I think a lot of you are searching for freedom and it's being misinterpreted as confrontation. You're looking for a little bit of space, because one of the things that has come up as clear here is the word action, but also the sense of feeling a bit trapped. So with Athena, you know what to do, trust your inner wisdom and take appropriate action without delay. We also had the action card, and it's interesting to see that there's 2 wild horses on this card, a black and white one. Which is really much to do with balancing the mind and the action, making sure that you are taking proactive steps to do the things that you want to do. Because with the 8 of Swords here, I think a lot of you are feeling in some way, shape or form quite trapped or restricted, and I think you have a lot of expansive energy in Leo season that you want to play with, and it would be wonderful if your circumstances allow you to play with that and to travel if you can, or short journeys, long journeys, whatever is going on where you are in the world. Do let me know where you are in the world, because I find that really interesting. But with the action cards and the 8 of Swords, I think as well with the patience card, I think a lot of you are having to be very patient with the things that are just not working in your favor, and you're trying to find desperately ways of breaking free from something. And I also think for a lot of you with that 3rd house full moon, a lot of you Sagittarius are kind of tired of advice from other people, or other people interfering in your business, or other people talking, or other people trying to tell you what to do with your life is kind of one thing that's coming up. Because we had the Queen of Pentacles, the Queen of Swords, and the Page of Cups. Particularly for a lot of you as far as children goes, or as far as your relationships goes, I think a lot of you do have many people around you that are advising. Because with the Page of Cups, I feel like, you know, a lot of people mean well for you and do want the best for you, but it's feeling a bit intrusive at this point. It just reminds me of that Britney Spears song. She's a Sagittarius. Overprotected. You know? Great song. Go look it up if you don't know it. Queen of Swords, Queen of Pentacles, and the Page of Cups. I feel like a lot of people are telling you what to do or interfering some way in your path, and you really want to react. Well, you want to act, but you would be better not reacting so much to the advice, because there's a lot of people coming at you, Sagittarius, who just want to help. Okay, so there could be some misunderstandings with that, especially in regards to travel for some reason or another. I think there could be traveling to see somebody, or someone maybe just has an opinion whatsoever on your relationships, which is kind of coming across as a bit tricky, because the other things that have come up for you are, in love, really quite lovely. So we have the Sun, which is Leo season, of course. We have the Intimacy card, and I thought this was kind of fascinating because Venus has just moved into your intimacy sector, the 8th house. We also have the King of Cups and the Magician, and we have the Fox. Now the Fox is actually it's associated with being quite cunning, you know, it's being associated with being quite charming, quite smooth, but like the fox and the chicken coop kind of vibe. That's not really what I'm getting with this. The fox energy in the spirit deck that this comes from, they're all linked below, by the way. The fox energy that this comes from is more to do with being quite a good partner, or being quite a solid friend. You know, people wanting the best for you is actually what comes up with the fox. So with the King of Cups and the Magician, I think for a lot of you, Sagittarius, you have been manifesting either a specific person, maybe a water sign, maybe a Scorpio, Cancer, or Pisces, or you've been trying to manifest your dreams. We'll get into work a little bit more in a second. But I think for a lot of you, in terms of love, you're actually going into a very, very fruitful season. With Mars being in your 5th house of romance for the rest of the year, it is going to retrograde and slow down, but that brings you so much closer to that energy. So love for the next 6 months is really intensified with Mars there. You're going to be able to charm people better. You're going to be able to pursue people better if you find that hard, you know, or you will be pursued more. I see Mars as being the pursuer, so when it's in your 5th house, I feel like love really takes off, like it really heats up for 6 months. But don't forget, the wounded healer Chiron is there, so you are healing certain things, and for a lot of you, it's the fear of being constricted, and it's actually a fear of intimacy for many of you. Some of you, I feel like you're really manifesting your dream kind of partner. But if it's not that, it could be friendship, or it could be, if you're in a relationship, it could be that you're deciding to have children, or that things deepen, or that you take beautiful trips together, or you make more plans together, or you really connect more. And I think for a lot of you, it's trying different things. But if you're already in a relationship, or you're in the beginning stages, a lot of it is creative. A lot of it is creating things together. And I think many of you, with Mars being in such a creative sector, as well as Chiron, healing through poetry and writing and creating and making and baking, or whatever it is that you do to express yourself, is actually very healing for you, and it really speeds up these kind of manifestations. For a lot of you, Venus leaving Gemini is just pushing you more into a desire to connect. Because no matter how you feel about love and relationships, Sagittarius, if you are a Sagittarius Sun, Moon, or Rising, it takes center stage in many ways because of Mars. That's kind of just the way the astrology lies. So whether you're single or in a relationship, love takes actually quite a big focus for the rest of the year. And depending on your own personal chart, you know, it can happen at different times. So don't restrict yourself to August necessarily for any of this stuff, astrologically speaking. But this is just showing you that something is manifesting with somebody who I think is quite sensitive and quite sweet, especially with the Page of Cups here. A new person enters your life, a relationship begins a new phase. See what I mean? So I think for many of you, Sagittarius, you really are creating something wonderful as far as love goes. And things I think for you in August, if you're already committed, or in the early stages, things could get a lot deeper. Okay, so that's one of the things. But I also think with the Sun card and this energy in general, as well as the two Queens, I feel, Sagittarius, that in terms of work, there is something that you're quite worried won't get off the ground. It could be a job that you're expecting or wondering if it's going to happen, if you're going to hear back from people, if you're going to be accepted, if a new job is going to come up, or if you're going to advance in your career where you are, or if you're going to, I think a lot of you are really worried about something not quite moving as far as career goes, or there's a hesitancy there because there's a call to be patient at the same time as taking action. So I know that's kind of confusing. There's action and patience card, but it's taking wise action, making wise choices, while also being very patient with how they develop. Because when you shoot your arrows, sometimes you forget that they can kind of get lost, and you have to, they don't always hit right on target right away, and you might have to scurry around and look for it to find it. Sometimes for you, Sagittarius, on your journey of discovery, which you love to do so much, on your journey of discovery, sometimes even you can get caught up in overthinking why you shot the arrow in the first place, or where it's going to land, or if you're going to find it, or if it's going to take you anywhere good. You question things quite a bit this month with that full moon. But I do feel that with the new moon coming up in Leo this month, and I'll go more into this in the mid-monthlies, but the new moon in Leo coming up this month, you have an opportunity to manifest a new experience that you can really learn from. It's very your energy, because the 9th house is associated with your sign, so you're having an opportunity to learn something new. And I feel that you're very supported by the females in your life, even if they're kind of annoying you by asking you too many questions, giving you too much advice. I feel like if you're surrounded by females, or you're applying for a job surrounded by females, or very strong feminine energy in it, I feel like it's going to be really successful for you. I actually think, Sagittarius, as well, because there's divine orchestration here, Council of Light, helpers in the subtle realms. I feel like a lot of you you're feeling quite looked after by somebody that is no longer with you, or you're having conversations with somebody that's no longer with you, or something like this. This divine orchestration feels like there's almost a need to trust that you're being helped, even if you can't see it. Whether it's with people that you've known before, or people that are in your life now, whatever it is, I feel that you're very much, you're feeling closer to something that you can't see, is one way that I kind of see this. You're feeling much closer to something that you can't see. As we progress into Virgo season, which is very much about your 10th house of career, there's going to be a lot of focus on your career, and I can already see that coming up with the Queen of Pentacles, Queen of Swords. There's also a need to laugh more. Like, there's a need to watch comedies, or see the humor in situations, be objective, but also have that sensible approach at the same time. There's a lot of interesting paradoxes here: patience and action, and then being sensible, being humorous, those kind of things. Sagittarius, there is a balance going on here, because I feel like things take off for you more so. Like, if you're waiting for news, or you're waiting for something to happen, things seem to take off when you start having more fun and laughing more, because I feel that for some of you, you have not been very happy with the way things have transpired, and I just feel like you feel a bit trapped at the minute. But with all the cards going the way they are, and the wild horses, I feel like you're about to break free into something new. So if you feel trapped where you are, or you feel restricted by circumstances, I feel, Sagittarius, that a lot of you are about to break free. And I feel like in terms of your intimate life, love is just taking a more intimate turn, and not to be too anxious about it. Okay, so we can get into the extended. It's linked below. If you liked the video, do like it. Subscribe if you want to, and I will see you soon. Bye, Sagittarius.